Morning everyone. What I thought I'd do is share with you some of my project Shimpaku junipers. This is a little tree that I probably air laid. I'm pretty sure I air laid this off another tree and left it growing for a while. It's probably had a couple of years since I air laid it. What I like to do is try and get some heavy gauge wire onto it and twist up the trunk. Not sure if you can see that clearly. You see that I've got some nice heavy gauge wire on there. Probably left that for a year or so. So usually what I like to do is come back and inspect where the tree's going and how it's performing. This has got some nice potential now since I put the bends in it. I hate seeing straight trunks. I don't like straight trunks, especially on Shimpaku. This is a nice little project tree. I might just want to clean it up a little bit today. And open it up and see some potential there in the tree. Now I think there's this nice main trunk and there's this smaller trunk here. Now I like to put twists in it because eventually I might actually gin a trunk, so you can have Shimpaku with a dead trunk and dead wood. Looks important and looks quite very pretty on a Shimpaku and junipers. It's good to have the dead wood with the juniper, giving it age. So yeah, let me clean it up and I'll see some potential hopefully in this tree. And this is one of my little projects that I like to do. I love air layering Shimpaku and growing Shimpaku. It's one of my favourite species. So let's have a look and see what we can do with this tree. So as I took the tree out of the pot just to have a look at it. Some interesting little things is this little guy here. Now it was pretty much sitting in the ground and in the soil, and it's put out some nice little roots here. So instead of cutting this guy off, it's a bit blurry. There we go. See how there's some nice little roots. It doesn't take much, and another nice little. So what I've done is taken the tree out of the plastic pot and expose what it's got here. So you can see this very low branch here. Now the good thing is that was probably looks like it's been ground layered. You can see some nice little roots there. Now what it means by ground layer is it's sitting in the soil and naturally just put out some roots. I was going to cut this off anyway, so this is now giving me an option to actually plant that and make another little tree out of this little guy here. I love Shimpaku cuttings as well. So it's always positive. Create another tree. Yeah, so that's something nice and handy to have an extra little tree just by ground layering without even knowing it. To show you what I mean, so you can see a few little roots off this little guy. So that's going to be a cute little cutting. Planted out. I took another cutting there, which I'll just plant out as well. They seem to strike pretty well, Shimpaku from cuttings, and I don't really treat them any other way, just pretty much in a nice open mix and keep them moist, and they should put out some roots. So I'm just cleaning up this guy and looking at just clearing up the trunk part and seeing what's around. I'll bring it up closer so you can see there's probably two main trunks. There's this one that twists and curls there, and there's a bigger one in the middle that twists and curls up here. Potentially two nice little trees on their own. Air layer one off, and then I've got a nice little tree. Or keep them, I could possibly keep both and make a little twin trunk, but I think eventually might be even an option for two little trees in there. So usually I like to clean up all the mess and so on. I did notice there's this straight one here. That's a candidate that I'll just air layer that off. Not probably this time of year, maybe wait till closer to spring. I'll just air layer that. It is a little thin to air layer. I usually like a bit thicker branches to air layer, but I think it's a nice little cute little tree. I don't want to risk doing cutting just in case it doesn't survive, but nice little air layer in spring. That might have fattened up a little bit over autumn to bring that out, so you can see that. But yeah, interesting. So there's a potential. There's a little tree in there. You can see that. These are probably not going to be used. They're probably, again, could even be air layers or cuttings off. But you see this little guy here. This will make a great little mini. You can just see that. I might twist that down with some wire. So I hope you can see that nice and close. You see the twisting, nice twisting tree. Yeah, there's that one, and then there's probably the better tree on this side. Maybe I'll take you to the back of that so you can see that there's one there too. A nice little tree. I wouldn't keep both because you can see they're probably the same thickness. So if I keep both trees, both trunks in the one, it's going to be two. They're going to be the same size. It won't look that good. It's nicer to have two little minis, I guess. Air layering something like that's quite easy. They take really well. Probably air lay this guy off and leave this guy as the main trunk. But yeah, some of the things you see, some of the little projects you have, you don't have to rush into styling and designing straight away. There's a process involved. You've got to get the best tree and grow it to the best way you can. Yeah, so I might actually just see what else I can do with this tree today. Just clean up some of the branches, clean up some of the twigs, and maybe just wire up a few more of these branches to twist them into place maybe, and see what they look like. So what I'm doing, I'm using the old aluminium wire that's on it there, and I'm just compacting that even more. I want to get more twists in it, and I'm not going to, just while it's here, might as well do it. Might as well give it a few more twists and compact this down, because the more interesting and twisty the trunk is, the better it's going to look. Now, I'm going to do it to this guy as well. It's not a matter of right or wrong, it's just to compact the growth further. I like small, tight little trees that are nice and compact, and it's just a matter of, this aluminium wire has been on there for a while, so it's nice and firm, so you can actually twist and bend it down quite nicely. And I like to try and get the tree nice and compact. Nice and closer it is, the better it looks. So you can see it's getting really nice and close and tight in there. So they're not, the curves are nice and close. You can see that nice twisty tight stuff. So now what are these? These are all straight and twiggly. So what I like to do is now actually put wire in them and twist them and make them tight as well. So you just never know what can be produced. So eventually they could form part of the tree or not, or they'll be nice dead wood pieces which are quite interesting with twists and turns in it rather than straight. With this little guy, you can see this second trunk here, it's nice and tight. I love this little bit here. It's going to be a nice little tree. This is the top, which I might twist as well and put in there. And these two guys, I'll probably put some nice twists in that as well, because they're straight at the moment. There's no point having straight branches on a nice twisty Shimpaku. So now I'll just put some twists and turns with some wire. I'll just use aluminium in this case. Hope I got the right gauge. But I always use heavier than I need, just to get the twists in there. But I always use aluminium if I'm doing all these kind of twisty, bendy curves rather than copper. Copper's only used for the final stages when you're ramifying. I mean, when you're putting final styling into the tree. Yeah, so it's just a matter of now putting some wire on it and twisting it up. Okay, so what I've done is I've just wired out the branches that I'm going to put some bends into. You can see I pour some wire. Now the wire I use is probably, for this kind of work, is about the same thickness as the actual branches, especially with aluminium. It's not the prettiest wiring, it's just getting wire on that's heavy enough to bend it without breaking it and keeping it in place. It would be nice if actually cuts in, and then we can actually do some shari work and deadwood work. But in this case, yeah, I'm just trying to keep it, just going to try and just putting heavy enough wire to bend these branches and give them nice and twists and turns. So I'll just show you what I'm doing. Now you'll see I've just put the wire on, but now I'll go ahead and try and twist these up. So I'll put a wire on the apex on this little tree here, on this little guy. So I'm just going to put some more bends, maybe some twists and turns into it like that. You know, it doesn't really matter now. We just want the nice twists in it. We'll develop the tree so that's nice and compact. What I would like to do is leave the tip, as long as you, I think the most important is leaving the tip of the the end point here, leave that alone, because that is where a lot of the strength's going to grow out, and the tree's going to take off that way, and it'll thicken up the rest of the branch and the trunk. So very important not to break that tip. So it's nice and compact. Not worried about all this foliage down here, it doesn't really matter at the moment, as long as the tip is healthy. So that's that little guy. These guys in here, might get in closer to show you, but yeah, you just play around with it. Like you try and put some bends in it, but what I want to do is try and bring it all back closer in to be more interesting. You put corkscrews in there. Yep. So that's nice. So sometimes I just do a little bit. So for example, now you've seen it. You can see I've gone right around, it's come this way, that way. So it's interesting, but I might tweak it a bit more in the next week or so. You just do it slowly if you want. You don't have to all in one go, but sometimes they're quite flexible and quite easy. This is quite flexible, and with heavy enough wire, it just bends easily. I've had times when I've broken the branch, but that's no big deal. Who cares? I'm just putting twists, and these eventually will come off. Either we get lucky and do air layers and have mini trees, or they're nice dead wood bits. So the more compact you can get it, the better. So you can see these guys are really twisting up quite easily, quite nicely. So you can see it's just a convoluted mess in there now. Nice and twisty and turny, nice twists, turns in there. In there. So you can see instead of the big straight ones out here, now they're right back here and they're twisted and turned up. I don't know if we'll keep them, but at least they're there and they give us options. Probably put this guy down a bit more. This guy's up. There you go. Couple little bends in this guy. So you leave the apex alone, let that take off, let this take off. It should thicken these up and get the bends set. So we'll work on. So this kind of area is done here now. Yeah, this was the apex on the other tree. Which way will we go? I think ultimately this tree's got a nice flow this direction, so it could be a nice little compact tree to have here. Sorry, there's little mosquitoes around. So we'll try and, I think we'll keep it in this direction, keep it over this side. So probably see nice little, definitely the direction is here. This could be a nice little tree in the future. You see, I'm just putting bends in it and bringing it in nice and tight. Last thing we want is straight areas in these trees. We want it all nice and twisty and turny. I even actually, the branch that I was indicated earlier on, this one here, that I said we can air lay eventually or take off. I'll put some wire in it just to give us interest as well. We'll bend them all up. So I'll bend up these guys now. Just remember, you don't always have to make instant bonsai. This is a project. Every tree is a project and treat it as such. You know, you do a bit of work to get it to the next stage, a bit of work, the next stage, and then eventually in a couple of years you have a really good little tree to work on and actually do a proper styling. This is just getting it to the point of what can we create. You can see I've just, these two little ones that were up, I just twisted them into different shapes. So that should be right. This guy might actually, where we're going to put him. Oh, sorry. There's this guy down here that I said would ear layer. That's the one I meant. Sorry, this is the one I want to ear layer in the future. I'll put some more on that and maybe put some twists in that, and for the future ear layering. I haven't forgot about the back. I've got a branch here that I'll twist and turn into shape as well. You can see it's just a matter of using your fingers and splitting the tree. No big deal, that should actually heal quite nicely. And if not, doesn't matter. I'll cut this branch off here. There you see, so that should be fine. And then I've got this other one here, I'll twist it up. Twist it up as well. So you're putting nice twists in the tree. So everything's really come back nice and close. This is the guy we want to ear layer eventually, so I'll see if I can get some bends in here. And this time I pointed it up, so it gives this branch enough strength to go upwards and grow upwards, and hopefully grow fatter quicker as well. And then we're going to air layer that off. So I've just put some nice. I'll come in closer in a minute. Just do this. Again, we only care about this guy. As long as this guy takes off, the rest of the tree we can develop. But yeah, so I've just put a little slight bend there and then a big twist bend in here. Not worry about any of the other branching, just as long as we get the apex going and that taking off, we'll set the rest of the tree. And then this should back bud quite nicely as well. So you can see what we started with, and now look how much more compact that is. Look how nice and compact that is. We've got more twists and turns in the tree. We've got two possible really good little trees there. Maybe in spring I'll air layer that off and I'll show you a video on how I do that. I think there's a nice great little tree in there, a little mini, very small little mini, and this is a slightly bigger than a mini, but beautiful little tree here as well in the future. So but project trees are critical to getting good stock and good quality bonsai in the future. This is probably, this wouldn't be more than a couple of years away from being in nice quality pots and in shows and exhibitions. So both trees will come up really nicely. There's one Shimpaku project. I've got lots of them, but this is one of them. Give you another close up. See the nice and twists and turns. Growing really good stock for future. Alright, hope everyone enjoyed that video. More to come in the future. If you're interested, please subscribe as always and like my videos. Thank you.